Hey, Shiny Crafty People. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tim Totten, and today I'm going to show you this cute box. Now, I didn't make the box. I bought it at the dollar store, so it costs all of $1, and I use it to hold my clips, but even better, because I bought a $1 styrofoam ball, not really styrofoam, other kind of foam ball, I was able to add a pin cushion in the lid. So in fact, this is a clip and pin cushion container so that you hold all that stuff together near your sewing machine or your other craft area, and bam, you've got two really amazing things. You can set this down and have all of your pins nearby. It was so easy, and this whole thing cost, really, because you get 2 halves of the ball, it cost less than $2. Why don't you join me down here at the cutting table and I'll show you what it takes to make this. So for this project, I'm gonna need a box, and I picked one that was kind of deep so that when I put the ball into this section, the half of a ball, that it'll set down in there and have plenty of room for other things underneath. I will need a ball, or I need to build something with batting or stuffing, and it's just easier to use the ball, which we're gonna cut in half. So we're gonna need the ball, we're gonna need something to cut it in half with. I'm using this serrated blade that I think my brother loaned this to me. I'm pretty sure he bought this at Harbor Freight, but it's pretty basic. It's a serrated knife. You could use a bread knife really if you wanted to, or really easy to cut foam like this. This is a solid foam ball. You could easily use your electric knife that you use to cut the turkey at Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, it goes through really well. In fact, a lot of fabric stores use those now to cut through foam and other things that you're buying. And you'll need a hot glue gun. And that's to attach the fabric, the fabric to the ball, and the ball to the interior of the box. So let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do is cut this ball in half, and what's really great is there's already a line on it, so that's really easy. I'm just gonna hold it. I'm gonna be really careful as I cut this. And you do have to be, you kind of have to be mean with it. Let's take a second to get started. I'm just gonna look around and make sure I'm kind of going in half as I do this. It's gonna make a lot of mess. You just have to be ready for that, which I am, so I'm not bothered. I cut all the way through, and now I have my 2 halves of my ball there, which is really great. I'll get rid of 1 half, and this is the half that I'm gonna need to cover with fabric. So there's a couple options. I'm just gonna wipe this off so I get those floofy parts away, so I don't have all that falling all over my table. And then I have to decide, how do I want to cover this with fabric? And I can literally just take the fabric and kind of put it down. You could use a stretchy fabric if you wanted, and I could just sort of pull this fabric around so that it fits. Depends on what color I like. I want to cover it with fabric because I just think this is kind of not very pretty on its own. If you like this look though, you could easily just glue this down and be done with it. But I don't know, I kind of want to cover it, make it prettier. I just decide, which do I like better? Do I like the brown? I like blue and brown together. So I'm gonna sort of plan to completely wrap this thing up. Now, I could of course wrap it, that's a lot of fabric that I really don't need. So in fact, I'm gonna come through and just kind of make this a whole lot smaller by cutting it with my rotary cutter or a pair of scissors. And so I'm going to just plan to make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm gonna glue it in place, so that'll be fine. I'll get my hot glue gun set up. I'm not really worried about this being too pretty as I do it. And I may have just cut it wrong. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I may have just not cut it big enough. I didn't, because I gotta realize it has to go over. So I guess I'm not gonna use brown. I'm gonna use this green color instead. I use the green instead. This is some fabric that I recently ironed, so let me check and see if I can get it out of one corner of that. It's gonna see through. I don't really want it to see through. It's not pretty. Let me get some more brown fabric and I'm gonna come back to it. All right, so I found another brown piece of fabric. I'm actually gonna get some pins out. And some of the reason I'm making this, because I can't stand having to find pins this way. You always stick yourself. And I'm gonna sort of make sure I know how big I need to make this piece that I'm gonna stick on here, that I'm gonna glue on. So giving myself a little bit of movement. I'm just gonna sort of use the pins to hold it in place. Will tell me how big I need to make this thing. And obviously those will come up in the corners like that, and I can clip off a little bit of that. as I go around, right? All right, so come and pin here. And yeah, I can chop a lot of this fabric off, can't I? So while my hot glue gun is warming up, I'm gonna chop some of this fabric off. I know I can cut off a fair amount of that. And over here, I can cut a fair amount of that. And at each of these corners, I'm going to take off some of that corner right there, you know, this fabric. And on the other side, it's going to be pulled down. See how it's going to pull down there? So I can do the same thing here to sort of push this up and put a pin through it. Chop that off. Just keep going around, you know, and you'll see what the shape will look like when it's kind of done. I'm just gonna hold this one with my fingers and just come back here and chop that. Cut that through. And the shape will finally end up, I'm so glad I'm making this because these pins are annoying. And then it's kind of an octagonal kind of shape here. Kind of real basic. Yeah, I like it. All right, so what I'm gonna do now that my hot glue gun is it warm enough? Oh, it is warm enough. There's glue already coming out. So I'm gonna place this in the center and I'll bring up one edge, get some hot glue on that edge, and bring up this edge right there to hot glue it, and the other edge will come this way. So I'll do the two sides like that. Let me get the other one. I'm not gonna pull it super tight because I don't really want to, I don't want to hurt it. So I'm gonna do the two opposite sides like this, okay? And then I'm gonna do the other two sides, and then it'll work as I bring it in. And I'm really pushing that down, so it's holding great. Look at that. And again, I'll just do right in here. And again over this side. This is high temp hot glue, by the way. I have asbestos fingers, I think now, because I've been using hot glue for so many years, but that's really hot, by the way, just so you know, it's really hot. So if you're not used to a hot glue gun, please be careful. Don't try to hurt yourself. You just need to take your time. And if I want to, I can either cut that with a pair of scissors or give it a little extra glue under there. I like a little extra glue. I just think it'll hold it down better. Okay, now that you got these four sides done, then you can come to the corners and kind of figure out how you want to fold that corner and how you want that to look as it goes. So I'm just going to kind of flatten it out, like kind of bring them in together this way. Let me do it this way so you can see it better. Bring it in together, and then I'll flatten that. See what I'll do? I'll sort of flatten that down underneath in that way. So it'll give you a little fold, or you could do several folds if you want to do one here and then one coming down. It's really up to you, but I'm kind of gonna give it a one fold kind of pull along there. So I kind of have this where I want it. I'm gonna put some glue in there, bring that fabric down and hold it. And then I'll do the same thing with these other pieces that are in here. See, it's gonna just give us a gathered look. And of course now I have, you know, I'm gonna have spider webs coming all off of this thing as it goes through. That's what I call the hot glue that sticks down. Little strands that come out, they're kind of like spider webs. Now I just look to the other side every once in a while and see how it's showing up, how it's doing. You know, looking pretty good actually. Same thing on this one. See, it pulls all of that. Same thing on this last one here, kind of open it up a little bit, get my glue in there. And this, of course, is really hot, so you can use a low temp glue gun if you want. I just happen to have a high temp glue gun that I bought for like $3 and change somewhere. Sometimes I think the low temp glue guns are cheaper. I don't know why. Maybe because they know you'll get burned. All right, so all of that is now in there, and I'm just gonna run some more glue to hold all the pieces in. You'll notice it's not real pretty. I mean, this is not meant to be gorgeous. You know, it's just the way it goes. And then when I'm comfortable with all of that, then I'm gonna come back and put hot glue all around it and then hook it into this, right into here. I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit and get these little pieces off of it. So I'll find where I want. Now remember, I wanna do lots of glue, lots and lots of glue. So one of the things you could do would be sort of mark on here, or I'm just gonna actually, the nice thing about being a high temp glue gun is that it's gonna really hold, and it's gonna let you use a little bit of time before you actually shove it down there. So I'm holding it down. I put lots of glue on the back of that, and not only on the fabric, but on the bottom part of that as well. I want to make sure that it really held, and I'll hold it down there. And it's warm to the back if I hold it. I'm going to give it some pressure, so I want to make sure I can really pressure it down while it's going. Oh, that's great. It's not going anywhere. So now I have a cute, maybe not exactly centered, pin cushion, and I can put my pins into it. I also like that it's a really tight pin cushion. That's kind of nice because sometimes they can fall out of the other soft ones if you don't put enough to them. But because this is only half of a ball, that when the ball is in there, there's still so much room for it to clear. So I can take my clips, right? Because sometimes I like to use pins and sometimes I like to use clips. So if I actually put my clips into the bottom of that, I can still flip over this top, and now I have my really fantastic box that has all of that stuff in it. And when you open it up, it's got your pin cushion and your clips. And in fact, if you wanted to, you could lay the clips down around on the inside if you're gonna have them at your sewing station, and then you've always got both pieces right here with this pin cushion. And then if you're ready to get rid of them, just dump them back in there. This is actually a really fun project that I was not expecting to be quite this much fun and easy to make. When I saw it at the Dollar Tree, I thought, oh, well, wouldn't that be a fun thing to make? And look at it, it turned out so cute. It's a little box container that has the pin cushion built right into the top. I hope you make some of these and you'll share them on our Facebook page for Shiny Crafty People. Until next time, when we do some other great, cool crafting project or sewing project, please stay crafty. Bye for now. Oh, this is so cute. I wonder if you could get smaller boxes and bigger boxes and how big of a pincushion you could make.